I know that feeling all too well. You're scrolling through endless listings of UPS units that promise uninterrupted power and industrial-grade reliability, but the moment you plug one in at home or in a small office, the battery dies after a few minutes or the outlets don't fit the devices you actually use. It's frustrating to spend a good chunk of money on something that looks perfect on paper and then realize it's practically useless for your daily workflow. That's why I'm breaking down the APC Smart-UPS X 120V external battery pack rack/tower model before you decide to click Add to Cart. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, let's talk about the kind of setup where this UPS actually shines. The Smart-UPS X is designed for environments that need a little more runtime than a typical desktop UPS, but not the massive, multi-kilowatt systems you see in data centers. Think of a home office where you run a powerful workstation, a network switch, and maybe a small NAS. Or a boutique video editing suite with a desktop, a monitor, and a router that you can't afford to lose power on during a storm. The external battery pack gives you the flexibility to mount the UPS in a rack while keeping the heavy battery out of the way, which is a real plus if you're trying to conserve space in a tight rack or on a desktop shelf. When I first unboxed the unit, the first thing I noticed was how the external battery is a separate module that slides in and locks with a single lever. That design means you can replace or upgrade the battery without having to lift the whole UPS off the rack, a small convenience that becomes a big time saver if you ever need to swap out a dead pack. The two outlets are spaced just far enough apart to accommodate a wall wart and a power brick without them fighting for space, which is something I've seen cause trouble on cheaper models where the plugs are crammed together. Now, the real test is how it behaves under load. I hooked the Smart-UPS X up to a 350-watt workstation, a 30-watt router, and a 15-watt external SSD enclosure. With the battery fully charged, the unit kept everything alive for roughly 12 minutes after I cut the mains. That's not a marathon, but it's enough to give you a window to save work, shut down applications gracefully, and avoid data corruption. In my experience, the runtime calculator that APC provides online matches pretty closely with what I got, which suggests the advertised capacity isn't just marketing fluff. One practical strength that often goes overlooked is the built-in LCD display. It doesn't just show the usual voltage and load percentages, it also tells you the estimated remaining runtime in real time, so you're never left guessing whether you have 5 minutes or 30 left. The menu navigation is a bit button-heavy, but once you get the hang of the up/down arrows, pulling up the battery health status or configuring the shutdown delay takes only a few seconds. For anyone who isn't comfortable digging into software utilities on a laptop, this on-device interface is a genuine usability win. On the flip side, there are a couple of trade-offs that buyers should be aware of. The external battery pack adds roughly 12 pounds to the total system weight, and while it's removable, you still have to secure it to a rack or shelf. If you were hoping for a truly portable UPS you could toss in a backpack, this isn't it. Also, the Smart-UPS X only offers 2 outlets, which sounds fine until you try to power a multi-monitor setup plus a docking station. You'll need to either use a power strip, which defeats the purpose of having clean UPS management, or upgrade to a higher capacity model with more outlets. The unit's input voltage range is 120V, so it's built for North American mains. If you're in a region with 230V, you'll need a different version, and that's not something you can simply reconfigure. Who should buy this UPS? If you run a single high-performance PC, a couple of networking devices, and you care about a little extra runtime to protect against brief outages, the Smart-UPS X hits a sweet spot between price and functionality. Small business owners who host a modest server or a point-of-sale system will also appreciate the external battery because they can keep the UPS in a rack while storing the heavy pack in a safer, cooler location. It's especially useful in environments where heat is a concern. Keeping the battery separate can help it stay cooler, which in turn prolongs its life. Who should skip it? If you need to protect a large array of equipment, say, a full media production rig with multiple monitors, external GPUs, audio interfaces, and a lighting console, you'll quickly run out of outlet real estate and runtime. In that case, a larger UPS with more outlets and a higher VA rating makes more sense, even if it costs more upfront. Likewise, if you're looking for a UPS that you can move around,